Hi, my name is Yvette Rutledge, and I started the Alchemy Balance podcast. And today, I was actually featured on my brother's podcast, and we recorded the show 3 times. And each time, the video didn't save. Um, that was almost altogether. If you calculate everything altogether, was like 3 hours, almost 4 hours that we sat there and did that over and over. But it was gonna be my first podcast that I've been on featuring my actual self, and who I really am. And I didn't want this day to go by and not do that. So I decided to go ahead and post my first podcast with just myself. And with posting myself, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a mother. I'm a nurturer. I'm a healer. A certified Reiki master. I'm so many things all in one. But I wanted to create this podcast to show me and who I am, and also help others along the way. And by doing that, I hope it gives other people ways that they can heal, or either insight on certain things that they have going on in their life. Being on this path, spiritual path, is not easy, not by far. It's one of the hardest thing you could ever do. But when you choose yourself and believe, there's no reason to turn back or go back. The hard work will pay off. I'm a firm believer in doing things. I'm a firm believer in doing things and not knowing what the outcome may be. And that's just the best thing about the unknown. I mean, when you don't know everything, it's hard. It's hard to believe, but at the same time, you will see results. So, being on this spiritual path, I've learned that I've learned and seen myself in a different light. And I learned that I can no longer operate the way I used to. I have to do everything different, because who I am as a person, with the integrity, if I do it any different than what I've learned and what I've conquered, then that's lying to myself. So I know that my path may not look like others, and I'm okay with that. Some may call me strange, weird. It's fine. But I know, don't worry. I don't worry about what other people feel or think. I love me. And the spiritual path can be kind of, it's hard. I can be honest, it's real hard. So let me tell you a little bit about how I got on the spiritual path. I remember a couple years ago, maybe 6 years ago, I was depressed, and God allowed someone to come into my life, which was my son. I mean, the love that he gives me, he didn't even understand the love he was giving me, but he would give me love to the point where it made me push. Now, all my kids made me push, but this love that my son gave me was totally different than from the love my girls gave me. And so when I needed the most, he knew exactly what to say and how to hold my face. And I was so broken and so depressed to the point where I had to cry out for help. And I just screamed. I remember sitting down screaming and on my knees and hands screaming. It was like, asking, why can't you just help me? This can't be life. But by doing that unlocked something in me, because the very next day I had energy that I didn't have before. And everything looked different. Then there were people that was coming up to me one lady came to talk to me about meditation. And I was like, okay. So it didn't dawn on me until after the fact that she was actually telling me to meditate, and so I had to research it to figure out what it was. So when I started the meditation, I learned that everything is stillness, everything is love, and that, you know, sitting in that stillness, there's no chaos. Your mind constantly runs. I got a chance to see what my mind actually looked like in that stillness. And it was scary because my eyes kept moving fast too at the same time. So I'm like, how are people doing? And then you listen to stories about meditation and how they're doing their meditation and how they have different techniques. I mean, I can be honest, it didn't work for me like everybody else. I had my own path, but I did take certain things from them, which was awesome. And I learned through that by just conquering meditation was discipline. I didn't have the discipline to even sit there for myself because I had so many other roles I had to play when it came to being a mother, being a wife, being a sister, being a daughter, being a coworker. You know, it was so many roles that interfere with me being myself. So at that point, I realized I didn't really know who I was because I wore too many hats. I wore too many hats to the point where, you know, the hats consumed me. And by the hats consuming me, I was crying out for help because it was to the point where I was losing myself. Fast forward, after that, I decided, after the meditation started, I came across a video about breatharians, and I was like, you know, I hear people talk about fasting all the time, and fasting wasn't something that never crossed my mind. You know, I would do it to help other people out at work or either for different holidays and religions and stuff like that, but I never really looked at it as a beneficial for myself. But once I seen this video about breatharians, something sparked in me that made me want to actually do fasting for myself. So I decided to fast on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of every month. And that's a dry fast. That means no water, no food, no nothing, no medicine, no anything. I didn't take nothing in my body. I don't take anything into my body for 3 days. Oh, and in the beginning, the first day was all right. That second day was hard. Because by this time, all the emotions that I had inside my body, that I was feeding, because I was emotionally eating and consuming, that was coming up. I no longer could suppress it because the food wasn't there. So now I have to address it, and I have to release it and heal it. And that's the part that really scared me the most, because it was like, why am I thinking like this? Like, it to the point where my anxiety kicked in and I didn't know what to do. But I didn't give up. When I set my mind to something and dedicate something to myself, and do something that I call myself, when I put my mind to something, I actually complete. I see it all the way through. I'm good at that. And so I told myself, I'm not gonna punk out. Let's see how far this is gonna go. So as the time went on, every month I did this, and by me doing this, I got a chance to see my patterns. I journaled and got a chance to see my patterns and write them down and go back and review them, and it helped me actually heal those things, because now I have something to review and something to work on. Before, there was nothing, because I didn't see anything. So I was perfect. I mean, I had no issue. May be upset, have mood swings here and there, but not really understanding where this stuff is coming from. So it's so much more that I could talk about, but I'm just gonna give you that tad bit for today. I want to talk about more about my journey and how I got to this point, and I want to say welcome. I'm looking forward to helping others. Also having people featured on my podcast too as well. If you want to be added, I'm all for women empowerment. You know, all of it. I'm big on helping the masculine, the feminine. You know, everything in this. I'm so open to everything, and I'm excited on this journey. Yet again, I say this is not a normal podcast, but today was a day for me to put this out. I didn't want nothing to stop me, and I feel like it meant a lot for me to get it done today. I'm in the park. This is my normal element. I'm being me, and yeah, I feel like it was the perfect time to actually just get it out there. I appreciate y'all for listening. I love you guys, and I will put another video out soon. Take care.